Welcome to episode 1, part 3. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Wade tried to bully, harass Mrs. Melton to come in regardless of the health check form. Now, we looked at that health check form. We know what it says, but he's trying to put our children in danger. And when questioned about what policy is he basing his decision on by coming in regardless of the health check form, he cut off all communication. He didn't want to have anything to do with it because he can't find a policy. And if I remember correctly, they're always saying that this district is about policy. Yeah, it's about policy when it favors the district, but it's not about policy in this instance. So when you hear it's about policy, you need to laugh and ignore it because they're lying to you. Now, I'm about to digress, but not really digress. But I saw this video in March 2020 when the virus was first being known to many of us, because before that it was hardly known to us, and it broke my heart. I'm going to show you a little bit of this to put more focus of the severity of this situation we're in, especially with a new variant coming out. Now, check out this video.
Y'all, this shit is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is for real. This is Brooklyn, y'all. Family, y'all take it serious. Y'all take this thing real serious, y'all. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is real. This is right here in Brooklyn. This is right at Brooklyn Hospital. Y'all, this is for real. They putting the bodies in 18-wheeler, y'all. Please stay inside. This is for real. This is no joke, y'all. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. This is for real. This is Brooklyn Hospital. Sorry for the camera shaking, but this is for real, y'all. This is for real. Please stay inside. Please pray for the people. Please pray for the people, y'all. This is for real. This is for real. This is for real. If y'all not taking it serious, this may make you want to take it serious, okay? This is for real. My hand is shaking because it's hard to look at this right here, what I'm seeing right now. It's hard to believe this. But y'all, this is for real. This is for real. This is live from Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn Hospital. They're putting bodies in the back of a freezer truck, y'all. Please stay inside. This is for real. This is for real, y'all. Lord, have mercy. Help us, Lord. This is for real. Please, please, y'all stay inside. This is real, y'all. This is coming right now. I'm right here now, right here outside the hospital. This is going on right now. This is live, y'all. This time is 10:40 Sunday morning. This is down. This is down. Come on. Let's pray, y'all. Pray. Get on your knees and pray. This is for real.
Now, he said it best. This is for real. Since March, things have gotten a lot worse with this virus. We have lost so many more lives to this virus since March. The Black and Latino people have died at a much higher rate than the white people have. Now, 90% of our children in this district is Black and Latino. How does the district care about our children and community? Dr. Wade is putting our children and community in danger of this virus. And it seems like Superintendent Dr. Eric Rosser and the school board doesn't care. Not once did this superintendent try to help Mrs. Melton, or even though he knew about this precarious situation. He was informed. All Superintendent Rosser did was send it back to the very same people, Dr. Wade, that was causing all the problems. That does not show true leadership. That's just passive leadership. Pass the buck, because I don't want to handle this. All the superintendent had to do was investigate the situation, not just take the word of Dr. Wade, who's just new to our community. Miss Melton's been here in the school district, working in the school district, not talking about the community, for over 20 years. And here comes this Dr. Wade, and this superintendent, he's new too, just believes it. But the school board believed it. All the superintendent had to do was investigate, and he would have found the truth. A good leader looks at all sides before they make a decision. But this is not what he did. He just stood by and let it run its course without investigating. And the little time that he was here, he knows what Mrs. Melton has done for this district. The school board could have had an investigation knowing the work that Mrs. Melton does. The least they could have done was find out the truth. And they didn't want the truth, because somebody on that school board wanted Mrs. Melton out. But they chose not to investigate. They chose their unwarranted action, knowing Mrs. Melton and all the things that she has done for our children did not go through the steps. They just went straight to the final step. They didn't gradually go through each step and say, okay, Mrs. Melton, let's do this, and this. I see there's a problem with Dr. Wade. I will, since I am the CEO, Dr. Rosser is supposed to be the CEO of this district, I will investigate and take over to make sure that a fair decision is made and that these steps are followed. Where's the policy at? Where's the policy at in that? I don't see one. I don't see a policy, because their policy is only good when it suits them. So, like I said before, when they talk about policy, laugh at it, because it's a joke. Now, do you think Superintendent Rosser and this school board would have done this with all that Mrs. Melton has done for this district? You think they would have done this if she was white? I got to say no. Hell no. There has been no other person in her position that has done what she has done for our children, and that goes for the computer lab on the south side. Therefore, you must wonder if this Dr. Wade, new to our school district and has no true ties to our community, has a pattern of abuse, harassment against school personnel. When you have a state hearing officer, now this is a state hearing officer that states that attacks against Ms. Shaw, the other model employee, veracity, integrity over inconsequential trivialities made me cringe at artful gambits on cross-examination made me upset. Now, do you know how much intimidation, strong-arming, dishonesty, persecution, harassment, and deception it would take to make a New York State hearing officer cringe and become upset? This shows how terrible Dr. Wade was to this teacher and the things he did. These hearing officers hear many things from different districts. It would take something really monstrous to make him feel that he needed to cringe. Imagine that. He needed to cringe at the things that Dr. Wade did. Now, Dr. Wade comes to our school district and community with the same mentality. He oversees our Title IX. This is a joke. How is he going to protect when he's showing that he has a destructive nature. This school district and school board did not even vet him. Or if they did, they didn't care about our children and community. Because if they had vetted him, they would have saw the problem that he had in the other district. Dr. Wade is dangerous to our children and community, and set it up to fire a pillar of our community, Mrs. Melton. The school board knows the work that Mrs. Melton does, but only one of them stood up for her and voted against it, against what they were trying to do. I cannot blame it all on Dr. Wade, because Miss Nadine Dargan, which used to be principal at Moore School, played a massive role. Miss Dargan is the one who has been trying for years to shut down the only STEAM media center in our school district and community. If you look at the media center, computer labs, and all the elementary schools, the north side gets shortchanged, while the one on the south side gets new computers and other items. Yet Mrs. Melton's media center has brought more prominence to this school district than all the other computer labs put together. Years ago, Mrs. Melton asked Miss Dargan for node chairs for the student. So she did not get them, but the computer lab on the south side received them. Miss Dargan had a nerve to praise the south side computer lab when she had the best, most productive media center lab in the school district. Do you think Miss Dargan would have closed the lab on the south side? I got to say, that's another hell no. Miss Dargan wanted to destroy Mrs. Melton's media center so bad that she lied in a federal case with fraudulent testimony against Mrs. Melton. Miss Dargan will do anything to get rid of Mrs. Melton's media center, including lying in a federal case. And oh yeah, Assistant Principal Nicole Penn also lied in her sworn testimony, and it was word for word Miss Dargan. That's curious. Miss Dargan wants to close the only STEAM media center to the detriment of our children. Go figure that. Now, Mrs. Dargan could have used all the help she could get, being that Moore School is in receivership, which didn't happen until she got there. Therefore, why would Miss Dargan want to destroy such a successful media center that helps so many children? Mrs. Dargan also took Mrs. Melton out of multiple virtual classrooms where Mrs. Melton was helping the children with their work and helping parents figure out the technological issues. Now, this is new to everybody. Virtual learning is new. And parents need to get as much help as they can to get into the groove of doing virtual learning. But Mrs. Dargan didn't care, because when she took Mrs. Melton from these classrooms, and she was doing 3 or 4 classrooms at a time, Mrs. Dargan never replaced those resources, instead leaving the children and parents to figure out on their own. Why? Mrs. Melton was helping these children to advance their educational fortitude and the parents to become more comfortable with the virtual learning environment, because they needed it. They needed the help. But Mrs. Dargan didn't care about that. Miss Melton took text messages, phone calls, various times a day and night, and on the weekends as well. Miss Doggan has stolen a valuable necessity to our children and parents, community as well. Why? Miss Doggan was leaving Moore School as principal and as a last foolish act of retaliation, she destroyed Mrs. Melton's Pokemon Media Center. This is petty and vindictive and hurts the children. Now this shows how much Miss Doggan really cared about our children. She didn't. Being a caring professional, Mrs. Melton still helped as many students as she was allowed to. Because when Miss Doggan took her out of the first class she took her out of, Mrs. Melton just doubled down and helped the other classes as much as she could. Then Miss Doggan took her out of all of those classes except for one. Now, that's about over 100 students that needed the help. Parents needed to be able to call because calling the district, because they're understaffed in the technology department, calling the district was getting nowhere. Calling the number that they had for IBM or whatever they had was getting nowhere. But Mrs. Melton was getting somewhere. She was helping these parents and guardians and grandparents and uncles and aunts to navigate this new virtual system. Mrs. Doggan didn't care. But like I said, being a caring professional, she helped as many children and parents as she was allowed to. Yet this is the type of person, a valuable resource to our children and community, that the school district is trying to fire. It is hard enough for the community to phase into the virtual learning environment without this district destroying such an important resource. Dr. Wade and Miss Doggan are a perfect storm for this dysfunctional union and truly bad for our children and community. Dr. Wade empowered Miss Doggan to finally be able to destroy Mrs. Melton Pokemon Media Center and to get her to fire, putting our children in danger and failing and catching the virus. See, this is putting our children in danger of failing at that school and catching the virus. And now she's in a position, Miss Doggan, that she shouldn't be in because she has no experience with that. But this district does that. That'll be a later episode. This is part 3 of episode 1, so I'm going to stick to this for now. The district had a case of the virus in various buildings. Only a few people in the buildings, like I reiterated. There was only a few people in the building. What do you think when you have over 500 students in one building, TAs and other staff at Moore School? The virus is trending up. And we have various of new parts of the virus. And our city has the second most cases in the county. Now, New York City wanted to close their schools when it reached a 3% threshold. Dutchess County, which is our county, has a 6.3%, with twice as much percentage-wise as New York City. And now, Poughkeepsie is not even the largest municipality, but yet we have the second most cases in the county. Employees will be afraid to fill out their health check form. Remember the health check form, honestly. And we are not, for fear of losing their job and which will put our children and community in danger. Dr. Wade is setting up our community for a cluster of the virus at our schools. Why did Dr. Wade require TAs and health aides but not teachers in our school buildings? are TAs and health aides' lives less important? They didn't need to be there. There was no children in the building. They could have got online and helped the same way as Mrs. Melton did. And she's still doing it. Dr. Wade is new to our school system and community, so he has no ties to us. Yet, he plays such an important role in the well-being of our children. Why would the school district hire Dr. Wade when he has such hostility, antagonism against a model teacher? Dr. Wade is starting the same crap, deviousness here against Mrs. Melton as he did in Roundout Valley School District and that model teacher. Dr. Wade claims were unfounded in that case, and the same thing will happen in this case. We cannot allow this interloper, Dr. Wade, to come to our community and wreak havoc and put our community in danger of the virus and place fear in our school employees. That's just a bully. The virus affects Black and Latino, as I said before, at a much higher rate. 90% of the children in our district are Black and Latino. Do you think they really care about us? Now, I ask you this question again. If Mrs. Melton were white, would she have to put up with all this nonsense? No. A white TA hits a child, nothing happens to that TA. They try to lie about it, but there is no legal justification that would stop this TA from being fired. Not Disability Act or anything else. But yet, she wasn't put through this. Not even the steps. Nothing happened to her. They just did it quietly. So we don't know. So how many other things don't we know in this district? Yet, they did not seek to have this TA fired. However, Mrs. Melton, who has done so much for this district over the years, they're trying to fire. A Southside elementary school lab gets new equipment, furniture, but Mrs. Melton's Pokemon Center on the north side can hardly get techs to come over to repair antiquated equipment that some are still broken. The superintendent put the Southside lab in his first superintendent's brief, whereas the superintendent visited Mrs. Melton's Pokemon Media Center during the summer before he did this first brief, even checked out the students' project. So why was the Southside featured? Because they received new items? No, I don't. They received new furniture? No, because it was on the south side. While the north side labs got nothing. Even without the new equipment and furniture, Mrs. Melton's Pokemon Center far outpaced the south side. So why did he put her in the first issue? The south side lab in the first issue? Not because it was better. I'll let you figure out that. Imagine if Mrs. Melton did not have broken computers, where she would be and what she could have accomplished with our children. The things that she did accomplish, she did with broken computers and no support. Mrs. Melton accomplished more things than any other lab without the things the South Side received, proving that the North Side deserves as much as the South Side. More school being in receivership should have received new equipment to help get the school out of receivership faster. Instead, This district helped destroy Mrs. Melton's Pokemon Media Center, taking away a resource and hindering the students' progress and endangering them at the same time. We cannot allow Miss Doggan to do her wretchedness to destroy and steal such a valuable resource, caring resource, as Mrs. Melton from our children, which I will go into depth in another episode. I'm going to ask you to message me on Facebook, and the link will be down below, to help save Mrs. Melton's job. I know she had many positive effects throughout the years on so many people's lives, students, parents, and our community members. This is a sad day because this district has shown that they really do not care. This board has shown that they really do not care. They're just a yes board, and they're following the leader of that school board. They're just following along, not questioning anything, even the ones that know, with the exception of one school board member. She did the right thing. I'm not going to mention her name because I didn't get permission to do that. But what we need to do is get rid of Dr. Wade from our school district and show him that he cannot come in here and do what he did, what he wants to do, putting our children, community, teachers, TAs, health aides, and other school staff lives in danger. Only one school board member did the right thing and voted against this farce. 3 school board members are being led in the wrong direction. But there is one school board member who knows the truth and yet voted, if not leading, this knowing the truth. The one school board member praises Mrs. Melton in public, but does something else behind closed doors. This person is a serpent that cannot be trusted. This person is a wolf in sheep's clothing. At least the last school board leadership, they were who they were, not pretending to be something else, not hot or cold, not in between, lukewarm. This one plays both sides of the fence. Now this is what gets me the most angry. They profess that they know God, but in the works that they deny him, in their works they deny him, being abominable, disobedient, and unto every good worker a reprobate. Titus 1:16. A reprobate. This is a reprobate mind. The last school board leadership did not do what this wolf did. Miss Shaw, the teacher that Dr. Wade tried to covertly railroad, had a message for the school district. She said, I could propose that in the future, why don't you have a policy that instead of hearing only one side, the board would agree to meet with that person if they had a good record. The school board needs to take that advice, but they won't. And I leave it open to debate anybody on the school board, any administration in the school district, to prove me wrong. There's a lot more going on than just this. There's a lot of things that I haven't even mentioned yet. There will be more episodes. This will be the end of episode 1. But I'm setting up a Google Meet or Zoom to meet with the community so we can stop this school board in this school district from just doing anything they want to our children. It cannot happen. We cannot allow that to happen. Remember what I asked you. Do you love your children? Do you really love your children more than others, friends and fam? And because they're your fam or your friends, will you take their disrespect to our children and community because they are your friends and fam? Or will you look out for your children first? I would hope that most of you, if not all of you, said that the children of this community come first before any friendship, any other fam, because they are our future, and what we're showing them is not good to our future. So, I will leave the links to some other videos that pertain to this, Mrs. Melton's work, and some other things that have been going on here. We have a new variant of this virus that can be transmitted quicker than the virus that we have now. And we know the damage that it's doing. 20 million people with the virus. Over 350,000 people have died from this virus. And I know, we know some people who have. So we don't need another negative thing on top of teaching our children at home, a virtual environment. We need as much help as we can get to make these things happen. And I ask you, please do not sign up for the hybrid learning, because this school district is not set up to protect our children nor educate them. If you give virtual learning a chance, and if there's some way that you need help, just let me know. Message me on Facebook, make comments, what have you, and I will try to get back to you. But we need to organize and become one community. So stay tuned for more truth in upcoming episodes, including the wolf in sheep's clothing and the destroyer of our children's education, people that shouldn't be in positions that they are, and much, much more. Now, and I'm serious about this because I don't want to see anybody hurt from this virus. And it's not just something that would be immediate. Some things are long term from this virus. They still don't know all the things. And they quickly did this vaccine. And we know in the black community, we know that that's not a good thing for us. But they like to show us getting the vaccine, because without us, it won't take hold. But there's so many problems, and the new variant coming out, it's not helping. So I say contact me. We'll set up these meets and become one community, one love.